one video, two souls, Rihanna and Chris Brown. A karmatic reading. This is what we're going to be doing today. So it was requested by, right, Donna Lane. Okay, so I want to thank Donna Lane for your patience. I know it's been a long time coming. I think Donna asked me back in December, and I had it all planned to do it in February, but unfortunately, personal circumstances happened. I was unable to do it. So anyway, at the end of the video, I'm going to, I Google and I'll tell you a funny story or two. And I can't remember the story because obviously I wrote the script a while back. So like, okay, but let's dive into an open prayer and get some history and cards. I ask you, kindreds, to join me in a grounding our energy. We call for protection and strength as we dive into this intense situation, asking for the only clearest and highest comes forward. Okay, and so it is. Here we're going to do understanding the patterns, using this reading to see why certain things happens in our lives and may or may not have worked. Right? Okay, breaking the loop. We're looking at how we can stop repeating the same cycles. So I'm hoping that what we're doing here is like a mirror reflection, you know, of our own experiences and with relationships too. So if it doesn't resonate, that is cool. You know, if it doesn't align with you, don't worry. You know, just enjoy. I hope you enjoy the reading. Like I said, this is my first time doing this kind of reading. Okay. But I like to spill the facts. I like to do a little bit of investigation. Okay. I've listened to some of their music to try and tune into their energies as well. Okay. Yeah. So, right. They met as teenagers and became a massive power couple in the mid-2000s. The incident, their relationship become widely known for a 2009 domestic violence incident. They briefly reconnected several years later before things ended for good. Both have moved on to separate lives, you know, so, and with Rihanna now focusing on her family and business. I think she does makeup, don't she, or something on them lines. Reconciliation and final split. After several years, they reconnected in 2012. Collabed on music like nobody's business and confirmed they were dating again in the early 2013. The rekindled romance was short-lived and they split permanently by May 2013. I suppose if you're a fan of these, you would know, but I never knew all this. It was good, you know, it's good to know. Moving forward, 2014, Rihanna has moved on to, I think I've repeated myself. See, gets so engrossed in it. This is my dyslexic brain. Yeah. repeat, parrot. Rihanna has moved on to a long-term, someone called Rocky, whom she has 3 children with as of late to 2025. And is there like talk that she's pregnant again? Chris Brown continues his music career, but has faced ongoing legal issues over the years. Oh, well, there you go. I gotta be honest. I mean, I did like her Umbrella song, and some of her songs, you know, I did listen to, but I wouldn't say I was a big fan of Rihanna. I liked some of her music, and I did sing along and danced in the clubs, especially the Umbrella song. But anyway, I'm going to stop gassing here, and we're going to look into the karmatic sense. I think what I'm going to do is do Rihanna and Chris, and then whatever goes into the thing. I don't know. This is all allegedly entertainment purposes. Please be kind to me because this is the first time I've done this spread. So we're going to give it a go. If it works really well, I may do this spread for another person, you know, another Yeah, if we can take something from it. So, the karmatic link to the past, okay? So, this is focusing on spiritual and internal lessons. And excuse my blue fingers, because I dyed my hair. So, my bathroom looks like like a Smurf has been murdered in there. So, yeah. Should I have said that on YouTube? I don't know. Sorry. Right. Okay, so the karmatic link to them. What was the soul lesson they were meant to teach each other? I think we'll put that at the first. What was the soul lesson they were meant to teach each other? Ace of Swords. That's interesting. Okay. So for Rihanna, it was about, to me, that was using her logical mind and being more outspoken. So I don't know, you can help me on this in the comments. But for me, the Ace of Swords was about her. To me, it was like using your voice. So, and to be more outspoken. There's something else in that. Because that looks quite dark, doesn't it? Maybe to be in touch with her shadow side of herself. Say actually what she feels. For him, we got the Queen of Pentacles. So she gave him stability. So I don't think Chris never, he struggled. I don't know if there was family dynamics, allegedly, that he struggled with feeling secure and having the stability. So I feel like Rihanna was a strong force for him that gave him that sense of stability. Whether he felt that at the time, I don't know. Maybe he recognized that a bit later on down the line. But that's what I'm seeing here. Because you've got the lions and the lioness and stuff. Okay. Make sure we got it the right way. What created the divide during the 2009 incident? I take it that was the when things went sour. Oh. As soon as I pulled the card, is the devil card. As soon as what came into mind was entanglements. Entanglements. A sense of feeling chained to one another. I feel on her side, because of the Ace of Swords, she started to feel suppressed in things. He became more, maybe there was obsessive behavior on two parts. Also, you've got to remember the devil card is like overindulging in things. Obsession, being obsessive, overindulging, jealousy, all those things that would come up in a relationship. But if Rihanna was feeling suppressed, was Rihanna feeling suppressed at the time in the relationship? Yeah, she wanted out. I think maybe not wanted out, but she was more looking into the future. He was still entangled into the present moment. There was an imbalance of emotions going on as well, with the Temperance card on his side. Also seen a vulnerability and insecurity with him. So he was highly sensitive to things at that time, which occurred with insecurities. Not defending anyone for violence or anything like that, but I'm just sort of saying that sense of her using her voice more and speaking out, and she was becoming more confident in so many factors, and maybe she was more in tune to her shadow side, that, you know, that vulnerability, it was making him vulnerable too, where she was like, I'm gonna keep going. You know, when you get to a point in a relationship, is like, you either with me, or I'm just gonna keep going. I'm going for what I want. And that's the impression I got. And that kind of made him feel imbalanced with his stability here. He's got, I'm not saying he's feminine, but there's feminine energy. So he needs that. He needs that to feel secure. That's how I'm seeing that. If you can see different, let me know. Or no different. Okay. So why did they reconnect? What was the unfinished business for them? So remember, this is Rihanna's side. And this was Chris's side. For her, I feel she felt more secure in herself. She felt she was in a stronger position, financially, be able to stand on her own 2 feet. She felt more secure in who she was at the time. With him, he seems more emotional. He seems more, if you look, he seems more on the emotional side. He didn't quite let go. So I say that he was more emotionally tied to Rihanna than she was. That's the impression I'm getting with this. Not that I'm not saying she didn't care or anything, but she felt more established, so confident in that. In that. Okay. Is there still a strong energy link between them today? Is there still a strong energy link in them today? I'd say so, yeah. I say there's an unspoken that they would never forget the time that they spent with one another. You got the Lovers card here, which is like the choices that we made, the commitment. This impression, that's Storm. So if you can hear someone yelping, is Storm snoring. So I feel like with this one is that they have got a strong connection, but I think it's memories. They recognize each other's qualities, and I think it's just their precious time, the good times that they had together, not, you know. So I feel like they both kind of learned from each other in that moment. Okay, so for Rhiannon, Gemini, Libra. See, that's the air card again. He really helped her grow. He really helped her with her voice. So whether that is in music, I don't know. But but it just like I don't think she's ever forgot that element at all. For him, I see confident. I see like there was confidence. So although there was a rocky, like you got the devil card and that rockiness, she hasn't forgot the value that relationship gave her, twin flame. I say he felt she was the one, and I think he'll always hold that torch for her. So there is like a deeper connection going on. I know that they've moved on, and I don't know if he's in a relationship. I know she's in a relationship and that, because I've just said all that at the beginning. But yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? But allegedly, entertainment purposes only. Right, okay, so let's go to the part 2, the internal truth. Let me just move me. So, what did the ego want? What was that? What did the ego want? The soul refused to give. What did the ego want that the soul? I think we'll do it here, because this is like the ego card anyway, isn't it? There was, unfortunately, the ego wanted balance. There was wanting balance. One wanted more control than the other. Who wanted the control? Right, so I'm going to pull a card on Rihanna to see if a control card comes up. She wanted stability and security. She wanted more of a relaxed environment. It's really ironic, because I see him more emotionally attached than Rhiannon is. She's got some really fantastic cards, but when it comes to like the karmatic side of it all, I would say he was more emotionally tuned into the relationship. I could be wrong, so this is just me reading cards and how I see it. One wanted more control than the other here. Okay. If they could get back together, what is one thing they would handle differently? If they could get back together, what is one thing they will handle very differently? I could be right. Both of them, it's got pentacles. Pentacles is about earthbound stuff, stability. For Rhiannon, I think she would have cut some ties that was affecting the relationship at the time, because I'm looking at the scissors in the hands. This is usually about teamwork, leadership and stuff. Or maybe she feels that she wanted to take more of a lead. I see there's a cut of ties. So I feel like, so who was the influences on Rhiannon's side? Who was the influences on Rhiannon's side? this was people around her that she's seen as their she's seen them as a safe net. She's seen them as a safeguard and a safe net. But actually, maybe you would know this if you follow Rihanna and that. But I think she broke ties with them. I think she did break ties with them. So I think I think Rihanna is also mindful of like who she has around. But if they would have done it differently, she would have cut ties with there was a few people around her that was a bit of quite a heavy influence on her. For him, I feel like he would be more in the relationship, not over obsessing too much. He would be more in living in the moment a bit more, but more relaxed about things. It's good that they've grown. This is allegedly, right? What was the final soul level? Okay, so what was the final soul level? The no that caused the physical breakup. For Rihanna, for her, it was like, I have to be honest. I can't live this lie anymore. I can't pretend everything is okay when it's not. It's a bit like her song, in it. I love the way you lie. Isn't it? Was that for him? I don't know. Yeah. Was it around that time? I don't know. Yeah, but she had to physically. She was learning to use her voice anyway. She can see now where things went wrong on her side. And although I think he's more emotionally tied than Rihanna is, to be fair. Okay. And for him, Chris, the physical would say no. His ego. He was too into his ego. Yeah, look, Tower. He was too into his ego. Too many demands. He had expectations and too many demands on her. And she's like, no, I ain't doing this anymore. I ain't doing things to make you happy. But I do believe he did care about her. I really do. But the shadow side of him got the better of him. And the worst comes out when the green mind monster comes out, isn't it? And that was the breakdown then. He couldn't cope with how strong she was becoming, So although he may have encouraged that in the beginning, I think as time goes on, he started to get too much for him. Allegedly, right? Okay, that's interesting. Is the soul contract paid in full? Yeah, so is the soul contract paid in full? I would say so. So although they hold the torch for each other, they've learned a lot from each other. Logically, I don't feel that they would jeopardize what they've got now to go back. They were. So, yes, I believe so. Okay. What else have we got? Where are we? Got in that. So is the energy between them still stagnant, noisy, or silent, or peaceful? Let's have a look. So for Rhiannon, she's chilled about everything. Okay, I feel she's happy in a relationship where she's at now. I think she's more content in where she is now. So for her, she's made peace with it. For Chris, Page of Wands. There's still, for him, I would say there's still a form of inner feelings for her. An attraction. He's still attracted to her. He still feels a little inspired by her. So is it emotion? It's not so much emotional, but there is acknowledgement for me for him. So I don't think he's got quite up to the level of a king, a queen, but there's acceptance there. That's how I feel with it. So the wisdom for the future, what ghost did they bring from this relationship into their next one? I don't know if Chris is in a relationship, but we'll see. Chris is brought more spontaneous, to be more spontaneous with things. He was very in tune with his inner feelings. I got to have a drink. Sorry, throat's dry. Right, so he's more bringing more spontaneous into things. So he's taking a bit more risks with things. Maybe that's not a good thing if he's got problems. So, for her, she's really in tune with her creativity, and she seems to be more able to structurize her relationships and that. So she's kind of I wouldn't say she's the boss of the relationship, but I just think she puts the work in. She has expectations for herself as well. So I feel like she learned a lot from their relationship, and that's what's made their, this relationship that she's in grow even more. Sorry. What is the one thing they must forgive in themselves to find balance? The separation. I think Rihanna regrets how harsh the breakup was and how cutting it was. And she needs to forgive herself for that, because it is what it is, things happen. I think she regrets some of the things that she said and done at the time. But at the time she felt hurt, and I think she responded in some respects, and I think she feels she regrets that. And I still think that plagues her now. But looking at the bigger picture right now, with the cards that's been thrown down, I think she learned a lot from the relationship, and that's improved the relationship she's in, in a lot of aspects. We live and let learn, don't we? For Chris, Knight of Cups. He wished he was more, he showed his emotions a bit more and done more gesturing and that. I think he became a bit lazy in the relationship. Although he was in his feelings and emotions, he had these high expectations. I think those expectations are lowered now. So I think he would have been probably courting her a bit more, wanting to, so there is some regret that he needs to sort of let go, of on that aspect. God, I'm getting hot. Just like, whoo. Yeah, right, okay. How does their experience reflect a pattern of their own connection? This is the last one, guys. Oh, look at that. She's more into, well, it's shown in the public eye anyway. This is about celebration, family, connection and that. So she's very in tune in the family environment, obviously, because she's got 4 kids, isn't she? 3 or 4 kids. So, yeah. So, for Chris, he still struggles with balance and harmonizing. So, although he's progressed in a lot of things and how he sees things differently to then, I still think he quite easily falls in that pattern, because we have got a few knights here and the pages. So I would say he still gets caught up in the pattern more than Rihanna does with his connections. Although he is open here. This is like the Sun card. So he is open to certain relationships now that he wouldn't have been in the past. Oh, there we go. We've got the King of Wands. We wanted to finish with that, which is nice. So once you've got Chris's respect, that it's there for the life type of thing, It might take him a bit of a while to get to that point, I suppose. If you look at those cards, it might take, but yeah. Okay. So is there anything else we need to know about Rihanna before we finish up? Oh, 2 cards. Vanity, ego, vanity, and pride. Faded beliefs. She does the makeup thing as well, doesn't she? Just that going right when I'm looking at the mirror. She can separate herself from her. So I don't know if it was like going back in the beginning when she first come out and stuff, that she found it hard to separate her work to her family. Now she can, I just feel like she can sort of remove herself so much. Okay. So what you see in the public eye is completely different in the, in privacy of her own home, which is a bit obvious, isn't it, really? She still holds, there's something that still plagues Rihanna about this lifestyle. Which she does reflect on. So I think it does haunt her sometimes, not so much the relationship with her and Chris, but like the whole, like the fame thing. And I think that's why she feels like she needs to separate herself, you know, but also she feels like I think she misses some parts of that as well. So would that mean, would Rihanna do music in the future? Would Rihanna do music in the future? There's a possibility. There's a possibility. I think at the moment, she's like, look at the Chariot. I think at the moment, she's at this crossroads right now. But I wonder if she will collab with somebody and bring a song out. Something new. That she would be willing to take the risk with. I wonder if there's been talks of it and there's been some backouts. It hasn't got quite fully in the picture. I think there was talks, or there's going to be talks. So will Rihanna go on her own? No. Will she collab with somebody else? Not right now. Not right now. I don't know if there's been talks. There's been conversations, talks. Let me know in the comments below, because it did look like it was, and then I'm getting other cards. So I don't know if I'm like reading what's happening present or if it's like future base, because there's a bit of a mixed. So I'm going to leave that. Maybe we'll go back to that another time. Okay. So for Chris, anything we need to know about Chris? How is this like, because he's got legal things going on. I mean, I don't know if that's still going on. I didn't really look into that. But I'll give it a gander and see. Test the cards. Test myself. Ooh. I think there's definitely stuff going on behind the scenes. So I don't know if he'll come back in the limelight with certain stuff. There's going to be something that's going to be exposed. Something from the past. So something that's going to resurface back into the headlines from the past. Something he doesn't want to come back into it. That was quite an emotional time for him. A confusing time for him. Yeah, I'm expecting something to come back and bite him on the bum a little bit with past. It's going to make some headlines there. It's like it's going to be a quick. It's not going to, I don't think it's going to stick. No, I don't think it's going to, this is something that's not going to stick for too long, but it's going to make an impact, that's for sure. And it's something from the past. That's interesting, isn't it? He may pull back from, I don't know if he's still making music now, but he might pull back. That's just trying to protect himself from what has been shown. Yeah, something's coming back in. I'm going to leave that. Now I remember the story. This is the story. This is bizarre, right? I did pull the card out. So I was going to, where is it? Oh, don't tell me I've lost the deck. I put it away. I was going to, when I do like my scripts and stuff like that and get it all organized and that, I grab a load of decks and I sort of pull them out and see which decks resonates with whatever, yeah? Let me move these a minute. So I picked this deck and then I was like, well, first of all, I was like, I need to do this deck, which is the Fantasy Tarot. I thought this would be a good one. I'm going to put because you're not allowed to show personal stuff on there. So, yeah, I'm going to protect that. So, anyway, I was looking for this deck. I looked everywhere I could go. And number 1313 kept coming, came up on my phone. And you know what it's like when I think I know where it is. I got to find it, right? So this 13 number came up on my phone. Yeah. Well, we looked at the numerology and it says, that is in a logical, things are in a logical space. Yeah. And I was searching high and low for this deck, right? Anyway, it ended up that 13 is the death card in the deck, right? Which is death and rebirth. And I thought, how weird is that? Because we're talking about karmatic timelines and, their relationship. And here we are. And I've got like the death card. So I've got, this lady with a fantasy card. As it was, I did find the deck and I missed it. I surfaced it. So it was in a place that I looked, which is bloody typical, isn't it? If you ask me, it's a bloody nightmare. So yeah, it was there. So when I couldn't make my mind up which one to do. And in the end, I got the crystal out, as I do. You've seen me do it. And to help me choose. So that's why I got this deck, which worked quite well, didn't it? I quite like that. I think I'll tweak that, but it was really good. Anyway, I diverse. So to me, like, we're talking about soul contracts, endings, then a death and rebirth. Seeing it double as a cycle of debt is finally paid off, which showed in the cards that, this was no longer. I didn't know how the reading was going to go, to be fair. It reflects that what we see is famous connections. It's often mirror our own unfinished business. So death card can be a really uncomfortable, unsettling place to be. Final endings are coming, but you're still in that zone, aren't you? You can't quite move forward. You can't move back. You're in this cycle of change. So whether that's relevant to Rihanna's and Chris thing, I'll let you decide that. But I just thought it was really strange, that this came up, and then the 1313, which is, me, I'm looking at like the card itself, which was a 3. So I would say, like, we all have the power to change the dynamics in relationships. But I kind of had to tell you this because I thought it was just really bizarre. And I tell you, honestly, guys, I looked high and low. I looked everywhere. And it was in the and all it was, I pulled another deck out and that popped out. But I think it's because I made a decision. I thought, I'll try this other deck. And out of curiosity, then I done the doofer Yeah, my brain's turning to mush again. Anyway, let's close down the prayer. Right, so the energy is sealed. May the light and protection we call upon stay with you and your space, leaving behind any heavy energy from this topic. Go in peace and trust your intuition. I really enjoyed doing that reading. I've been putting it off. Although I have, because you've got to be on a certain level. I get fatigue, so if I'm not got that energy, I ain't gonna give a good reading. But look at me pulling one card for each question. That's good for me. Normally I'm pulling it down. So I hope you enjoyed the reading. Again, thank you, Donna, if you're still listening to this reading. I really appreciate it. It was a fun one to do. If you've got another karmatic 2 soul reading you want me to do, put your request in. It's not going to be an overnight, I'm going to be doing it in my time, but we'll get there. As you can see, we'll get there. So with that being said, take care of yourself. I'll see you on the other side. Lots of love. And yeah, I'll leave you with that. Take care. Bye-bye.